Hello guys, TBEdit here for part 3 of this jersey swap tutorial. If you haven't watched the first 2 parts, please go watch those and then come back to this one. So today we're going to be doing the helmet and the face mask. So he had Marvin Harrison Jr. has an F7, so we're going to find another guy with an F7 helmet. And in this case we got Terrell Suggs. So all we're going to do here for the helmet shell is we're just going to go over it like this, and then we're just gonna um, copy it from the original player, match it up, and then try and line it up perfectly, just like that. So now that we have that, I'm also gonna erase uh, the chin strap poking out, or uh, yeah, there'd be a chin strap poking up here to, so when we copy the other helmet over, it won't go with that because we're going to create a clipping mask to sort of put the other helmet over this one. It'll make more sense when we get there. But for right now, we're just going to remove the chin straps. So now that we have that done and we have the helmet copied, we're going to go over to this helmet and then just go over as good as possible to select it. So we'll speed this up. Okay, now we got that selected. Just drag it over. And then we're going to create the clipping mask. And then bring it down. Try and size it up as good as possible. And then we're going to use the warp tool to bring it up and match it with Marvin Harrison's helmet as good as possible. Right there's about as good as it's going to get. So now we have the helmet shell on there, and now the visor clips. See, these are still red. So we're just going to go through, select those like that, make selection, okay. And come over to this one, do the same exact thing. Make selection, add to selection. So then we're going to go to the original player layer, and then we're going to go to image adjustments, black and white, and then we're going to just raise the color of it, try and match this gray. That looks pretty good. We might use exposure, go back to the selection, and raise it up a little bit. There we go. And I think we are going to warp this again because this Cardinals looks kind of odd. Try and get the clips to match up a little better. I think that's looking good right there. So now the face mask is actually pretty good for the Cardinals, but I'm going to show you how to change it in case if it was a different color or anything. So basically all you're going to do is copy the whole player layer and then try and match it up to go over the original one. And then once we do that, just got to shift it over a little bit. Need to go up. All right, now we're there. So we're going to create a layer mask and then hit Control I. So it's going to like cover that layer up. So actually we're going to hit Control I again just to show the layer. So now let's say we want to make it red. So we'll take that same gradient map, paste it over, and we want it to be like a darker red. So we'll go We'll remove this white, bring this over, try and match it up as good as possible. Okay, so now we'll create clipping mask, or sorry, don't do that. So hit Control I here. So now it's completely gone. And then you're just going to take the brush at 100% opacity and then just kind of with white so that it'll show. Make sure you have the layer mask selected. And then just find the right size to match up with the how it looks, and then just kind of go over it with the brush over every little part of the face mask to reveal that red color and change the face mask color. So we're going to speed this up and show you the end result. All right, so that's how it look. That's how the Cardinals face mask would look if it was red, if you were wondering. So that's pretty much all that goes into that. I'm going to remove it because Cardinals face mask isn't red. So we got all that done, got the helmet done, got the jersey, got the pants. So now what we're going to do is add a background to it. So just find a good image. I got this one right here. So we're just going to go around the original player in the image, and then we're going to remove this player using the generative fill tool just by typing in remove player, and then it'll come up with a generated background that we can use for our player. So here's what it came up with. We're just going to merge this down, bring this over, and then get it behind all the layers so it's in the background. And then we'll resize it to fix where it needs to go. And then let's go here. So there's not really much of a shadow. So that looks good right about there. So now we're going to hide this layer. We're going to right click on one of the layers and then hit merge visible. So now that we have every layer merged, we're going to go to filter, camera raw filter. Okay, now that we're in camera raw filter, I like to go to effects, turn the texture the whole way up, clarity a little bit so it's not too dark, but it brings out a good bit, and then go to light, up the exposure a bit, up the highlights, shadows, just kind of everything. Kind of play around with it, see what you like. Sometimes I like to go down on blacks and shadows. Sometimes I like to go up. It really just depends on the player. Just play around with it, see what you think looks best. And you can also go down to the curves, do this too. Play with the highlights, lights, darks, and shadows. See what gives you the best result. And then sometimes I like to up the sharpening a little bit. I don't know if I will here. And if the player looks a little blurry, you can up the noise reduction. I don't think I need to do that here. Maybe a little bit will look good. So now that we got that done, there's not much else we need to do in here. So I'm going to click OK. And then it really brings out the player a lot better. So now we're going to merge these two layers. And now that we have these two layers merged, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to add my watermark to the image. You can have whatever watermark you want. You don't really even have to do this if you don't want, but I'm going to be posting this, so I like to have my watermark so that nobody steals the image without a little bit of credit. So there is the watermark. Now we're going to merge that down with it too. And then we're going to go back to camera raw filter now that everything is merged together. And actually, you see that this is off of what the actual image is, so you're just going to hit cancel and then click C and then hit enter, enter, and it's going to crop it so that the square is just the image. So now we can go back up to camera raw filter and then Uh, I like to go to effects, maybe turn the texture a little bit up, clarity a little bit up, and then I like to add some vignette to darken the edges, gives it a cool effect, and I'm going to click OK, and that is the end of our jersey swap here. So I hope you guys enjoyed these tutorials. If you want more, please let me know. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and I hope to do more in the future. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.